Gone live. This hangout on air is live. Thank you for joining us on OreAni for our 2017 winter season lineup. Today with me we have Jessica.
Hello.
And myself. Aren't you guys all lucky? Oh, give me a second. I forgot I had that YouTube video running. I started hearing myself echo. Alright, so for our first title for this whole new year, now everyone's excited, is Akka 13 coup. How do you say that? Kansatsu?
Coup d'etat, or do you mean the subtitle?
I was trying to read the. I don't know.
Jusanku Kansatsuka.
Jusanku Kansatsuka?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my Japanese is just as terrible as it's always been. So Akka, this crazy looking bird, which you
Is
see it,
extinct.
and you see it very often, like as for some reason this is how the country looks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So strange. So strange. I don't even know what to make of this show, but I'm watching it, and it's actually very, very entertaining.
The first episode nearly made me stop watching it. It was very poorly written with oodles of exposition, flat characters, and basically everyone kept saying the same thing over and over again. Did you know that cigarettes are really, really expensive and only the rich people can afford them? You'll definitely know by the end of the show because every single character mentions this at least once. But I decided to give the second episode a try because I really like the art style and the fact that everybody's an older professional person working for the government as auditors. And that was an odd enough concept that I figured, what the heck, I'll give it another episode. And the show starts to settle into a better groove, although some of those existing problems are still there. But I think it's going to be kind of a political thriller, perhaps, with everybody jockeying for power in a potential coup d'etat. I don't know. It's certainly interesting, and it'll keep me guessing.
What was the main guy's name? The smoker.
Oh, Otis.
Yeah,
Otis.
Otis, but they gave him like some kind of smoker name.
Oh, did they?
Didn't they
I
have
didn't
like?
notice what his last name was.
No, they always had a nickname for him.
Mm.
Because of how much he smoked, and he was constantly smoking in that show.
He was a chain smoker, yes.
Yeah,
And they don't
so
say how expensive exactly the cigarettes are, but apparently it's a habit that not everyone can afford.
but liquor seems reasonably priced as he's getting drunk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody's getting drunk all the time. And all the guys have a crush on Otis's sister too. Forget her name.
How she doesn't seem that old, but
I
she
don't
might be like
think they ever
17 or something
say.
like that.
I
She does
figured she
seem,
was a teenager.
yeah. Because the main character Otis, right? Isn't he like around at least 25 or something like that? 26?
He'd have to be for how long he'd been working with Akka.
Yeah. So Akka is the name of the government, right? Or the
It's the name of a branch of the government that oversees just about every facet of the government. And the particular branch of Akka that our protagonist is in is the one that audits all of the other branches. But the show isn't very clear how much power the king has. If this is a constitutional monarchy, it sounds like it might be, because the king doesn't necessarily have absolute power. But he must have enough because the king's grandson was going to disband Akka entirely and give himself a plenipotentiary power. So for all of the exposition that we were given in the first episode, it doesn't clear up a lot of the important issues that the viewer has to know.
Yeah. I do remember, I think it was the second episode, that they do have strange classes, and I swear those kids are too young to even learn about this. Where they talked about the whole government branch in Akka and how it stemmed as a field trip. I'm like, how is
Yeah,
this?
civics is kind of a high school class, right? But
Yes. They
I
seem
thought
like,
that was pretty funny.
yeah, those kids seem like they're just probably starting middle school or maybe just getting out of elementary.
Yeah.
They're taking this high class. Oh man, I was like, what? I was distracted with that so much that I missed the whole explanation. But it seems like the whole 13 is like the 13 territories within this country, right?
It's an empire, and so yes, the 13 I think stands for all of the countries that were enveloped by this particular empire. But it's really hard to get a sense of scale, so we don't know if the empire is an entire continent. Is it a continental mass, or is it an island? How big is this thing? We don't really know.
Yeah, and judging by how Otis is constantly traveling, it doesn't seem like he's always on the plane for hours at a time. So I don't think it's really that big of a scale.
No, they do mention traveling by train, so you're probably right. But then they go to one of the countries where everybody's huge.
Oh, that was hilarious.
So everyone's what, half again as tall as the main characters? Something like that. And so the burgers and french fries are enormous. You could feed a family of 12 with one of those hamburgers. And the french fries are what, like this big, this wide? They're
Yeah,
huge.
when I saw that, I was like, oh, I want those strawberries.
I know. Yeah, so everything is supersized over there. All of the plants, the fruits and vegetables are all huge.
But
But I think that the main flaw is that the anime is using the manga as a storyboard. And so the flaws of the manga are just exacerbated when it's put into this animated form, because they definitely could have smoothed out some of the rougher edges if they'd put in a little more effort, I think.
mhm. So it seems from the second episode on right now, it's all about the coup d'etat and
That's what it seems like, yeah.
and Otis's relation to that. Everyone has eyes on him and wondering if he's the one that's behind it or if he's supplying intel.
I think he's being set up, but the interesting thing is that his best friend is actually a government spy that they have set up so that he can monitor Otis.
They gave that away really fast too.
I know. And that's kind of
I mean,
why if it might have been better for them to reveal that at a later time to keep the suspense, but yeah.
I mean, if the hints were there, and I guessed it. I mean, I was like, I bet it's him, but then they try to throw you off by having someone else shadow them, and then they just reveal it right away. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So there was some things in the show that kind of disappointed me with the reveal and how
Mm-hmm.
quick it was, but other than that, it seems it's going to be somewhat interesting. I don't know how long this is going to last, and then what they're going to transition into later on, but I can definitely see there's going to be a lot of problems with the prince in the future, or
Yeah.
uh, he's. I don't know if do we call him a prince, right?
He is the crown prince, so yes.
Oh, yeah, because he just had his coming of age party, right? So now
Mm-hmm.
he's eligible. But I thought it was kind of funny how he had all these plans and his, his grandfather.
His grandpa totally shut him down.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of hints going with something going on with the Otis's sister because for there's a lot of fixation on her for some reason.
Mm-hmm. All the guys seem to have a crush on her.
Yeah. But it's very, I find it very fun because it is pretty diverse. Even all the characters seem like that their own uh, racial traits are different from each other when it comes to those generals and stuff. So I'm excited to see how the whole country is as Otis is traveling around.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, like right now, would you recommend this to someone, or because I'm still kind of heading,
Mm,
I'll wait for right now, but
I'm on the fence. I'm gonna have to see a few more episodes to see how it's gonna handle the things that it's setting up now before I weigh in on it. Because I think that if I showed the first episode to people, there would not be much interest in it at all. That first episode was really poorly done.
all right. Excuse me. Let me get the next title ready for us here. So that was Akka. Next up for our discussion is Gabriel's Dropout. I probably should have read the name before I started watching the show, and I would have guessed what was going to go, what was going to happen. I was just on Crunchyroll, and I'm like, "Oh, this is new." Click, enter, play, and then all of a sudden, the angel, she's celebrating her class graduation. Now she's going to go to Earth, and all of a sudden she hears cries from help from the internet, from MMORPG, right?
Yes, and it goes about as much as you would expect.
Yes. I probably would have seen that coming if I would have read the title, but then makes me wonder how was that game even open? How did it get started? What was?
I don't know. This is not a show you're supposed to analyze. You're just supposed to run with it.
Definitely.
I'm actually gonna drop it because gag anime aren't really my thing, but it's not bad. If you like rapid fire jokes and absurd situations, then this would be a good one to watch this season.
Yeah, all the four main characters they have, which are going to be Gabrielle and um,
There's Satan, Gabriel, another devil girl, and another angel girl.
what was it?
Like
Raphael.
Sariel or something. Is it Raphael? Is the other angel
Raphael.
girl?
Yeah. I saw some pictures out and making fun of it because I guess she also played Angel in Angel Beats.
Oh,
So it's the same voice actress, and of course the characters both have the same hair color and stuff. So
that's funny.
the contrast between the two. But you have oh man, she's crazy. She scares me actually a little bit. What she's gonna do. But it's 100% gag anime, and it almost seems like it would come from like a four-panel comic.
That's the feeling I got too.
And it sets itself up right from the beginning. I mean, the first 5 minutes, you get the gist of what's going to go on, and judging from the characters' personalities, you can kind of see where every single joke is going to go. But it's still fun to watch, and it's it's probably going to be a guilty pleasure for quite a few people out there. Um, they do make a lot of jokes on different tropes that are out there. Even I think the latest episode they made fun of how the light censorship, the rays of light. They made jokes of that. Of course, the polar opposites between the angels and devils. It seems like the devils are more angelic than.
It really does, especially the sadistic angel.
Yeah, Rafia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, oh man. I don't know. There's not really too much to say about this show. You just have to watch it and see if you like it or not. Um, there's a lot of things that kind of did bug me about it, but I think it was just done that way before the cringe because of how her living state is. Like with her room at the very end of episode 3 with the mosquitoes and all that. I was just like, ew. But I'm probably going to keep on this show just because there wasn't too many actually out there this season that I wanted to watch as far as other titles. So, what about you?
I'm dropping it. I've never been a huge fan of gag anime.
Yeah. So go ahead and watch it. The characters are pretty fun, I think. But if you're not into gag anime, then maybe not. What was the next title we got?
Kobayashi-san.
Oh, this is the anime of the season right now for me. Anime of the season, Kobayashi-san. What was the whole thing? Chino Maid Dragon? Or
Mm-hmm.
Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Is I think the English translation, right?
Yes.
So this is on Crunchyroll. Easy to watch, easy to get. Everyone should be watching this. I swear.
This is one that when I heard the premise, I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be so dumb. But it's dumb in a hilarious way. And, oh man. Take it away, Tank. You. It's just so good, I don't know what to say about it.
So, as the name says right there, Dragon Maid, right? Or Maid Dragon, however you want to call
Yeah.
it. It's a dragon that decides to become a maid for this lady called Kobayashi. And how it came to be was just her in a drunken state and somehow convinces her after helping the dragon out to be her maid. And then you later find out it's all because she has this huge fetish for maids. And it's actually pretty extreme. And those moments when she's talking with her coworker and being all geeky,
Oh,
oh, those
those
are
are so funny.
oh my God, it makes me remember some of the moments I've had in my life with some friends. Like, oh my God, remember this thing? This show, this. Oh man, it makes me want to carry about around a pair of glasses so I could just otaku mode and be out there like, okay. But it's the relationship between Miss Kobayashi and this dragon mate. What was her name?
Toru.
Toru? Yeah, Toru. She,
Mm-hmm.
after saving her, she comes and keeps her promise to become a maid. And of course, Kobayashi doesn't remember anything happening since she was drunk and decides to go ahead and let her live as a working maid. And you soon find out that Kobayashi, of course, or not, sorry, Toru, being a dragon, has no common sense at all for human interactions. And it actually seems like they come from a different dimension or something.
It kind of does, yeah.
So a lot of her references and her knowledge are totally different from our common sense and stuff. So it's fun trying to see her trying to change her mindset and change things so that she can live within human society.
And she has two friends, two dragon friends that she calls for advice, and they have just about as much common sense as Toru. One of them's Fafnir, right? I don't
Yes.
remember the other one. But she'll call him up on the phone and say, hey, what should I do about this problem? And they'll just give her dragon advice that doesn't help. But I should probably say that I'm not a fan of shows where a character shows up and is all, oh, I'm living with you now. That just stresses me out. But because Kobayashi-san is so chill about this whole thing. It doesn't bother me at all that she suddenly has a rando living with her.
And
And when
vegan.
the second dragon comes and is, I need a place to stay, and Kobayashi's, sure, why don't you stay? And so it takes away a lot of the stress that's usually an undercurrent in shows where a protagonist has someone suddenly cohabitating with them.
And she's so cool with it that they even move into a bigger house, bigger place
Yeah.
to accommodate all of them. And
Yeah.
that's that was interesting in a way. I didn't expect them to be moving because they were in a pretty small place, and
Mm-hmm.
they ended up moving to this really nice place. And the thing that kind of bugs me, and they keep on playing around, is whenever the maid tries to feed Kobayashi her tail.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only thing that bugs me about this show. But other than that, it's pretty fun and it's just really great. Just a lot of different. I know this is based off of a manga, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing this manga a long time ago. Not reading it, just seeing the title and stuff. I was like, meh, I'm not gonna touch this. But seeing this anime, I kind of regret never having picked it up. But it's loads of fun, and the quality is actually pretty consistent, even though they've kind of changed to this very amateurish cart. I don't want to say it's amateurs, but a very simplistic art style every once in a while, especially when she's in a dragon form.
Mm-hmm.
But it fits so well with everything that's going on. And what surprised me a lot was, like, even in episode 2 when they were house playing, or horse playing, as you call it, out there in the field, just the way they was just so amazing to me. So I'm expecting a lot more from this show. And to me, this is the anime of the season right now.
Give it a try if you haven't already.
Definitely. And we're definitely expecting to see more. I think more dragons, right? At least one more dragon.
I think so.
Because I think even in the opening credits, which I happen to see, there's one more character that we haven't seen. But
Mm-hmm.
so good. Everyone, watch it. Watch it. Watch it. The next title. Oh, season 2. Season 2. Konosuba. So Konosuba season 2, or how do you? The full name is like Konosubarushi Sekai ni
Shukufukuo.
Shukufuku. So of course, what was it? Last season was almost 2 seasons ago.
Something like that, yeah.
So it started 2 seasons ago, or something, somewhere around there. And of course, it's guy gets killed, or sorry, he doesn't get killed. He dies in a pretty hysterical way. Gets transported to a different world, and is now living in this world along with his chosen weapon. And if you haven't seen season 1, you definitely need to watch it before you watch season 2. It picks right off, even though they kind of give you a glimpse of what's happened, a good recap in a way of a trial, which I thought was pretty fun how they did that.
Yeah, it was pretty clever, but for it to make any kind of sense, you really need to watch the first season.
Yeah.
And it's funny. You'd be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't. This show is hysterical.
But I think, what was it? The main problem for this new season, episode 1, was the lack in quality. A lot of people either mentioned.
He destroyed a lord's manor, and so he has to pay back the debt, which is added on to his already huge debt from the first season.
Yeah, like wasn't it because of the monster they fought at the very end of the last
Yeah.
season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if anything, that last season was only 10 episodes long, so it's not like it's a full 13 or you have to sit there for a long time. It's actually pretty short. So, you should be able to catch up easily to watch season 2. But they kept a lot of the same things, especially their Konosuba call outs for the eye catches every once in a while, which was awesome. The opening credits are hilarious if you watch that.
They run into the
um,
frogs again. Megumin has a rival now.
you know what's really weird about that though? Megami, not to mention her, I've seen her a lot more without her eye patch, and I kind of forgot she had an eye patch.
Oh yeah, because she puts it on at some point again.
Like, yeah, and then especially with this newest episode, it was hilarious. You know, bakuretsu, bakuretsu, la la la. I don't know if you've seen the newest
She
episode.
she strikes me as a Chunibyo character.
But isn't
That's
that their
just
whole race characteristic?
I think so, but that's kind of how I how she is in my mind, especially because she's wearing an eye patch that she doesn't need.
And she has a bandage on her leg.
Oh yeah, yeah, she does.
And Darkness has actually been out of the picture for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
But they did bring a lot of the old characters, but it does seem to be getting a little more um, perverted, I would say, this season. And especially if there's an ODA that was released, or OVA, whatever you want to call it, like in episode 11, which actually seems it takes place after the first episode, or the second one, because it already shows the rival. So it's kind of weird how, where does this episode come into this seasons? But it's definitely after season 2 for this OVA. And that one was just outrageous. I just watched it before this. But what was this newest episode about? Oh, they went into the dungeon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it seems to be playing right now that this whole season's going to be about them trying to repay their debt, going through quest and going through that action. But it also seems to be some definitely rescuing darkness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty easy to see where this show might be going, but just seeing how they get there is really fun. You have anything to say about the show?
Not really anything that hasn't already been said. It's I certainly would recommend it, especially if you liked the first season. You have no reason not to watch it. And I've shown this one to a couple of my friends, and they just are on the floor laughing the whole time. So it's got a really good sense of humor.
Mhm. Yeah, and but they're definitely getting a little more closer to the, or I would say they're trying to see how far they can push how um, perverted they can be, even with the some of the comments that they're just talking about, like, you didn't happen to see what I was doing at night, did you? You know, just stuff like that. You're like, whoa, okay, the show's getting close, but um, I'll definitely keep on watching the show. I just hope that the quality doesn't dip because I think
Yeah,
it
the animation is pretty lackluster.
makes me wonder what's going on. Like, I was playing around with the idea of maybe the quality's low right now, so that could be a really big cool fight, or maybe they're just spending it all on the animation of the explosions because there's a bunch in episode 3. So they're spending all their budget on these explosions.
Oh, that would be really funny.
But they do have a new partner with them, which is this cat. I can't remember what the cat's name was. Besides the rival, but I can't wait to see how this goes. But if anyone else is watching, let us know how you feel about it. Join us in Enemy Talk. All right, what's the next title? Nyanko Days.
Nyanko Days.
Nyanko Days. This is a short, right?
Yep, it's 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes.
I think this is the title I've seen. I can't remember. Is it with the this little small cat girls, right?
Mm-hmm. The anthropomorphized kitties.
So a very short show, or short show. Let me see. What can we say about this other than those little cat girls are just so cute?
They really are. It's a nice little palate cleanser between episodes. Just cute little kitties and a cute little girl and just cute, cute, cute. It's so sweet it'll give you diabetes.
And it's actually kind of interesting because you don't even really see them until the very end of episode 1. It's showing how much of a loner this girl is and how she doesn't mind being a loner because when she gets home, she has her cute little kitty that there to cheer up her day and make everything better. And they're not just actually the funny thing about this and why I wanted to bring this show up is what is it called? Nekopara, right?
Mm-hmm.
Neko Paradise or something like that from Sekai Project. It's got a Kickstarter going on right now. I think they're down to their last week, right? A few days for the Kickstarter to get the OVA of the anime made. So if you can't wait for that, definitely pick up this title because this is just right up there without being a plus
Without
18
being
game.
etchy, yeah.
Yeah, this is just nothing but cuteness. The other ones are more, well, they're still cute, but they have the edginess to it. Not much to say about this, I guess, right? Because it's just so short. You just have to watch it.
Yeah, it's cute. Check it out.
What's that say in the title up there? Nyan.
Yonko Days.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is. I'm sorry, it's backwards on my screen.
Oh,
So I was having a hard time reading that cursive. So this is our short recommendation for right now. Oh, I have no idea what this title is. Good. So, Yo Yojo Senki, right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
Saga
can't
of
read that.
Tanya the Evil.
Give me a second. I can't read that. Let me change this title. There we go. Is this a short as well, or?
No, it's a full-length show. Let's see. So the first episode starts off in sort of a World War I-esque world where magic is a thing. And we're on the battlefield following an empire, and there's a girl who looks to be about 10 who's a squad leader, and she's in charge of a young, probably teenage girl, and then a bunch of slightly older guys, and she's giving orders and stuff. And gosh, this show is just all over the place. So they did a really good job showing the horrors of war, but you're pretty much the conceit is you're supposed to enjoy how evil this little girl is, because even though she looks like she's about 10, she's got the mind of a fully functioning adult who's just a total bastard. And at the end of the show, she ends up transferring all of the people in her squad, except for the teenage girl, to a place that she knows they will get killed because they wouldn't obey her instructions. The character designs are really hard to get used to. Tanya's got eyelashes that go 3/4 of the way around her eyes. They're very thick, they're very big, and very blonde. The other girl that's in her squad, oh, just Google some pictures of her. Not very attractive. And it's the character design. It's not like the person was trying to draw a cute girl and failed horribly with this. But anyway, in the second episode, we're taken to a world very much like our own, where a guy working for a corporation ends up firing somebody, and the person he fires shoves him in front of a train, and he dies. And then God shows up. I swear I'm not making this up. And it's basically having a conversation with the guy, and the guy is just, well, I don't believe in God. So, screw off. You're something else. You're not God. And God's like, well, we'll see about that. And so he transports the soul of this guy, who's probably in his 30s or so, into this alternate world and puts him in the body of a baby girl. And so he grows up inside this older girl, or inside this body, and becomes Tanya. So Tanya the evil, Yojo Senki, isn't really a little girl, but a guy in a little girl's body doing all of these evil things. And then the whole time the show's trying to have a discussion about faith and free will, but then it completely shoots itself in the foot with that, because God, or existence X, being X, which is the name that Tanya gives to this thing, because she absolutely does not want to believe in God, gives her a gem that if she wants to use it, she has to pray to God. And it's just, what? This is so stupid. Like, anyway, I'm dropping it because it's just dumb. Really. It is so stupid. It's a little disappointing though, because the animation's really nice. The backgrounds are gorgeous. Some really nice aerial battles take place that are a delight to watch, but the story is just very immaturely written. I would say that this is probably the first story that this author has ever written before. That's just what it feels like to me. It does not feel like a professional wrote this thing. So that's my 2 cents.
Sounds hilarious. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's just, I'm trying to describe it, and it's so hard to do because it does so many things at once, and it's, where do I begin? Because
So,
you're watching this 10-year-old girl strut around and give orders to people that are twice her size and probably 3 times her age, and everybody acts like it's totally normal.
so
And huh?
would you recommend me to at least watch the first episode or something like that? Or
If you like watching things, so bad it's good kind of stuff, perhaps, but it's really impossible to enjoy other than that.
I watched Nambaka, so how about? Would I qualify?
This season is not a very good one, so if you don't have a lot on your plate and you just want to have a WTF kind of show, then you could try Yojo Senki, but don't say I didn't warn you.
Okay, well, as far as WTFs go, there's actually here. Let me bring up this title because maybe handshakers. So
Oh, handshakers, you
this
crazy,
this
crazy bastard.
this is the WTF show. I happened to pick up a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't actually watch past the first episode, but
I couldn't either. I could not either. Oh, take it away. Yeah.
I don't know how to. 'Cause it's like what you're saying. I mean, the it's just so weird. How do you need?
Oh, we need to find the GIF of the girl listening to music. Could we share that? Because that would pretty much sum up the entirety of the show right there. Of just what?
The girl listening to music?
Yeah,
I
do
don't
you
even
remember
remember
that?
that. I don't remember that.
Let me see if I can find it.
All I remember is how bad the 3D CG chains
Oh, yeah.
looked. And like he's holding this chain in his hand, but it's moving in his hand, but it looks just so terrible. And I don't know. But I don't even know what the show's going to be about. It kind of seems like it's
Mm.
the only thing I can really remember right off my mind is a show called Loveless, where there's two people as a partners, they group up,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and
Oops.
one
Okay.
uses magic while the other one doesn't, but they're basically a pack together so that they can use magic or something like that. Um, but it seems like they have to have some kind of contact for them to be able to use those abilities or some sort. But you have your main character, which I think is some kind of high school boy who just can't say no to helping someone, and he always gets fixated on it. He's like your Emiya from
Mm-hmm.
Stay Night, right? Where he's really handy. He loves fixing things, but he gets so caught up in it that he loses track of certain things. So he ends up heading to this appointment area and sees this girl, and it reminds him of his sister, I believe it was.
Yes, because his sister perished.
Yeah, so she had this close resemblance to her, and he ends up taking her hand, and that's when everything kind of all starts going crazy. Like he can't remove his hand or can't remove contact from her, or else she'll die. Is what the main doctor said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to have constant contact with her, but then all of a sudden this guy starts attacking. I don't even know why he's attacking. I can't remember.
They don't really say. He just shows up and starts attacking because he can.
It
Okay,
makes it.
I found it. See,
I'm gonna do the screen share. See if you can.
I guess I can try that. Let's
Or
see.
here, let me.
I have the link, but yeah, I can do screen share. Okay. Oh, come back here. Ah, crap. Come here. No.
Oh, you're talking about that. Okay, I get it now. Here, let me
All
do
right.
it. I'll do a screen share real quick.
Yeah, I hit the wrong button here. I got on the wrong thing.
Screen
Okay, there we are.
share. Not, oh, wait, not the entire screen. An application. There we go. Sure. So this scene here, right, where she's listening to the music and her.
Yes. Because
Um,
that's how boobs really work.
I actually completely forgot about that scene because of everything else distracted me from
I remember watching that and going, huh? Yeah,
kind of.
but so the weird thing about Handshakers is that the actual 2D character animation is all right, and they tend to independently animate every single NPC in the background. So that's rather ambitious, right? You have just these kids in the classroom and they're all having separate conversations and every one of them is animated instead of being a static image that the camera pans over. But then there's the CGI. How would you classify this, Tank? Would you say that this is maybe 2002 like CGI? This stuff looks awful. I mean,
Yeah,
really bad.
yeah, it's I mean, it's almost like when you go watch a classic and you're like, I remember this being so awesome, but now the CGI just looks terrible.
Yes, that's exactly it.
And you're like, I can't believe I believed this quality back in the day.
Yeah, I felt like that when I watched Gankutsuo. But no, this looks bad from the get-go.
You know,
Really, really bad.
if people complained
It's
about Sidonia, then there's no way they're going to be to watch
this
this.
this makes Sidonia look like a masterpiece, really. The characters try and interact with these 3D objects, and it doesn't work at all because they're so unbelievably fake. They don't look like they're coming from anywhere. They don't exist in that universe. It has to be seen to be believed, but some people online were complaining of motion sickness and headaches when watching it. So if you're prone to that kind of thing, you'll want to avoid handshakers.
So, like,
That's how bad it is.
they tried to do some things that remind me of, like, what was it, K? Like,
I never saw K.
when K first came out, they had these really weird scenes where they had these really weird camera angles, but they did it really good, and they had really nice imaging. But this one, because it's as they're running, they're trying to also move the camera around at different angles, and it's hard to tell. Like, is that angle correct or not? But it doesn't seem right.
I don't know. Do you recognize the director or anyone attached to the project?
I didn't even look into it. I saw
I didn't. It just seems like something that's overly ambitious that fell on its face, but I can't imagine any seasoned director actually okaying what happened. It's an utter train wreck.
So what was that last season, that one show that went on hiatus because they felt the quality wasn't high enough?
Oh shoot. I don't
This
remember it.
this isn't even close to that.
No.
I mean, this is just a total. I mean,
It looks unfinished in certain parts, doesn't it?
yeah. I kind of want to say I want to watch it just to see how bad it gets, or just.
You know, I
But
would do that if it were a movie and only an hour and a half of my time would be wasted. But this is supposed to be, what, a 12, 13 episode series? I'm not giving 6 hours of my life to this piece of crap.
that's the worst thing is I've only seen episode 1, so I don't know if it gets better in at least the next episode or anything. So,
I don't know.
well, we were just talking about crap shows, so this is another one on that list.
I am not brave enough to watch episode 2 because that doesn't even talk. We haven't even talked about the girl that's a masochist that produces her power when she gets, stomped on and humiliated. That's a
Yeah.
thing that actually happens.
See, this.
Uh,
Yeah, I have a friend. I'm gonna keep him anonymous, but if you know who my friends are, you'll probably already guess who he is. But he's really into the etchiness of shows. And I don't even think he would watch this because of how terrible all the other quality is.
yeah.
So I'll actually have to ask him to watch it, or if he has seen it, and just see how he. Because maybe it's the fan service that brings people to this. I don't know.
Are people actually watching this? Because I can't imagine somebody sitting down and actually thinking this was good.
I don't know. It's on Crunchyroll, so people are probably going to be watching it just because it's there. But I'm definitely going to go back there and see if they have any reviews written down and start reading those. Because if anything, this is going to have some very, very interesting reviews and very fun stuff to read about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that show is just crazy.
It's worst anime of the season, easily.
Yeah. I mean, I'm almost actually willing to say that one show, what was it called? Magical Warfare is better?
Yeah, yeah, Magical Warfare is better than this.
Yeah, and that show was like our go-to for the most terrible thing ever. Now Handshakers has taken this
Yes,
title.
Handshakers is the new Magical Warfare.
Ah, Magical Warfare, you've been taken, overtaken,
Dethroned.
dethroned. Yeah. Let me see here. What other title can we talk about real quick? I was actually looking for. Oh, there it is. It's under weird name. I can't even remember the English name actually, but I think it's like Interview with a Demi or Monsters or something like that. Interview with Monsters. Demi-chan wa kata itai. This seems to be a very popular show right now. Um, if the Dragon Maid show wasn't out right now, this probably would have taken first place for me. I remember reading the manga for this as it was being translated. It was getting translated actually kind of slow. I think like one chapter a month. But the anime is already almost catching up to it, at least where I've read to. So I'm hoping they'll start translating these books faster. That's usually what happens once it becomes an anime. People start targeting it more. But it's really fun. It's in this world they got every I don't know how to explain it right now, but there's like these subcultures or or the monsters actually do exist in some form of way. Like you got the vampires in this show right now. You got the succubus, the Yukiona, the Delahan right now, or your four main demis as they call them. I can't remember what they called them. I think they're called Ijins or something like that when they're referring to it in Japanese, or demigirl or demon monsters or something like that. But they found out that the cute wave or the new fad of calling them was demi-chan, so that's why they have that title. And then you have the science teacher or biology teacher, whatever he is, for the school, who, as his thesis, I think in college was he wanted to do research and learn all about the demis, and but he's never had a chance to beat them because they're actually, in fact, pretty rare to meet. So now that he's teaching in the school, all of a sudden now there's four of them, and he's like, "What are the chances?" And it's just him trying to learn more about these demi girls. Of course, it's your very typical kind of setting for harem, since all of them are girls. He's the only male, and it's it's really enjoyable. I'm actually surprised you haven't watched it. Was there a reason you haven't picked up this title, Jessica?
Um, I don't know. I'm not really into Monster Girls. There was the one series a couple seasons ago that was all about Monster Girls that I didn't really care for. So I thought that this was going to be in the same vein.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Where almost every single girl's well endowed in that show.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
It was a fan service show, and that's not really my speed. So I
this
thought
is
this was the same.
oh, this is totally different. They do play around a lot with different scenes because, of course, there's a succubus there, right?
Hmm.
But it's very wholesome, actually. It doesn't get too fan servicey at all. I mean, They do have some scenes where, because the teacher is actually very inquisitive and wants to learn, that he says some comments that he's not even really thinking about because he really wants to know more about these demigirls, and he just says what comes to mind, but he forgets he's talking to these young high schoolers. So every once in a while he'll say something kind of offbeat, but it's a very I think you should at least give the first episode a try. It's very really really fun.
Okay, is that on Crunchyroll?
It is actually, and
All right.
the only thing that's bugging me is the Dillahan. She has that little flame, and whenever she gets embarrassed, it explodes. But it has these weird sound effects on it, which I'm
Hmm.
like, why does that have sound effects? It doesn't have a vocal cord or anything like that. I would think because it doesn't have a neck. So I don't know. It's just there's certain. That's the only thing that's bugging me about the show. But everything else has been moving really nicely. Um, but it's weird how these demi girls exist, and it's kind of they have because the vampire girl is actually part of a twin, where she's a vampire but the other girl isn't.
Hmm.
And it seems like these demi girls are born randomly or through some kind of genetic thing that happens to them as they're being developed in the womb. So maybe that's how why they become the demi girls. But it's just there's not really too much of an explanation that I thought on how these girls come to be. Because at first I thought it was maybe like a different dimension that they're coming over, or somehow they're appearing, kind of like in that other monster show, right? They came from somewhere else and they were living with their host families. But this one isn't that way. So, but it's very fun, and I believe it's easily my number two this season right now.
Oh, well, in that case, I will add it to the queue.
Yeah, because even though Konosuba is really great, the quality in this show is way better. So, and I think even Albert made a post about the ending credits and how they did the painting and everything. It was pretty fun to watch too and stuff. But I kind of expect a lot from this because I swear I was like, as a manga reader, I was always checking to see when the next chapter came out. It was really fun. Um, is there anything else we can talk about, or
Mm,
what's
you mean
what's
another series or?
what's Onihei?
Oh, all right. This one's one that I had been looking forward to. Onihei is um, a noir type show, but it takes place in the Edo period with samurai. And it's kind of like a police procedural where the main character, is it Heisuke or something like that? Um, he is the leader of a police force in Edo. And so it's about him going around and solving crimes and stuff. But unfortunately, it's not better than the sum of its parts. All of the characters and the mysteries only last for one episode. So when we're introduced to characters, they're usually one dimensional, and we will never see them again outside of that episode, except for a couple standard characters. So the animation's not really that good. There are some fight scenes that are kind of cool, but for the most part, it's pretty limited in its scope. And usually the mysteries aren't, it's difficult to write mysteries really well. And unfortunately, Onihei doesn't know how to do this well. In the third episode, there's Heisuke gets attacked by a random samurai, and he notices a smell on this samurai. And so, okay, that's a clue that we have is the smell. It smells kind of like makeup or an oil of some kind. And so he doesn't find out what the smell is by going around to all the perfume shops or all of the makeup shops. No, he wanders into a shop to buy his wife some candy and smells it on the lady in the shop. It's just completely coincidental. So there's really, for a police procedural to not have the police work makes no sense at all. So all of the mysteries are solved just by circumstance and coincidence rather than intelligence or ingenuity. And that's the meat of a mystery right there, is, well, how do they go from one logical point to the next logical point? And Onihei completely skips that. And then to throw into the mix that none of the characters are around for more than an episode doesn't really make me care about anybody that's introduced later on, because I know that they're going to go away. They're either going to die or they're going to get arrested, or they're just going to disappear and we'll never know. So I'm very disappointed in this one. I had thought it would be really cool. And in reality, it's not. It's just a poorly written mystery series.
What mystery series would you recommend?
You
There's
know?
only one title that actually comes to my mind.
Oh, what are you thinking?
Hyoka.
Yes, that one is the textbook example of how to do a mystery right.
And especially at the beginning of it, when they're going through the anthologies of Hyoka, I thought that was really good storytelling and how they solved the mysteries and how they went through the thing. And the thing that really gets you caught up in it is that it isn't all confined into a half hour or even just 2 episodes for an hour. They actually spent like 6 episodes in these mysteries.
And they'd get together and they'd have these roundtable discussions so you could follow the logic. Instead of one character saying, I know how it is, I've solved it, everybody worked together to unravel the mystery. This just has Heisuke blundering into certain things, and everything's tied up in a neat little package. There are never any loose ends. But it's unsatisfying.
The one story that I really liked in Hyoka actually was when they made an announcement over the PA and he was to solve, or why did they make that announcement? The whole reasoning behind every little thing he did, they even wrote down in a book, just, why would they make that announcement? They only said it once. It's usually said, they explained everything really well. And I kind of wish we had more stories like that.
Me too. And I wish that Hyoko would get licensed too, because it's the only OreAni series that I know of that doesn't have an official English release, be it streaming or on physical media. And it's one of OreAni's best.
Even if you were to look at Conan, Detective Conan, although it's entertaining and fun, sometimes I'm like, wait, how did you get that clue? Or where did you even find that? So it's strange that one of the best mystery shows I think is out there. It's not really well recognized. Because then again, it's not really action packed. It's not like they're solving a murder or anything. It's more or less small things that they're solving or trying to figure out why this is going on. So I think that's one of the biggest drawbacks to Hyoka, is they're high school students, so it's limited in their high school. It's not like some big mysteries all of a sudden, murder or something's happened. So maybe that's why. But too bad for Onihei. So is it going to be dropped?
Yes. Yeah. I've watched 3 episodes to see if it would hit its stride eventually, and it just never has.
Oh, poor Onihei. The only other title I think right now I want to talk about, or not really talk about, but just mention, is One Room. It's a short. It's really nothing big. It's not a really recommended title or anything. The only reason I like this is if you know the artist Kantaku. I love his art. I always buy all of his dojins and everything. I think what was it? The Stony Cat and the Laugh, or the Hentai Prince, right? Was a series.
Oh, is that the same person?
That used the character designs, right?
I don't know.
So
I actually haven't watched One Room.
he was the character design for that, and even the movie called Garukawa. He did the character designs for that show. So these are around the same thing. I mean, I haven't done research to see if it really is him, but it's just so close to his style. I automatically just assumed I'll actually have to look it up and see. But if you like that style, at least One Room is. I just love those character designs, and that's why I'm watching it. It's not the greatest thing right now. It seems that you're living in the perspective of this one guy, and this girl moves in next door, and she wants to go to the college that you're attending to, so now you're going to start tutoring her in your room. So it's definitely a fan service show, even though it doesn't really seem that big, or it doesn't make it seem that way. But just her sitting there acting cutesy, her in a certain pose. You can definitely tell this is for men and the eye candy. So I honestly don't think you would like it, Jessica, but
Fair enough.
but the character designs I just love. Kantaku's character, all of his art I love. So that's the biggest reason why I'm watching this. But then again, it's not really long. It's only it's one of those 4 minutes or less than 4 minute shows. So I think they even what happened? I think they did go to a bathhouse. So they do have a bathhouse scene. So of course it's one of those shows. Um, what other shows? Did you watch anything else that you just automatically dropped at one episode, like Spirit Pact
Uh,
or?
Let me take a look here. There was Handshakers I dropped. Um,
Did you ever watch Rewrite the first season or?
no, I didn't.
Hmm.
I think Handshakers was the only one I dropped after one episode.
What
Oh,
about
no, I take that back. Kimono Friends.
what? You dropped that?
Yeah, I did.
Kimono Friends.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. Ugh, I don't know how to say it. I mean, some of the scenes were badly made, I would say, but I don't think it was really too bad.
I think that it works more as a show for children, maybe.
Definitely,
But for me, I didn't care for it, and I thought the CGI was really terrible, which was a shame because the art style is very cute. Serval is just adorable.
it's an adventure style type of show, right? They're traveling
Mm-hmm.
along, going through the different areas, trying to figure out what's going on or what's with her. But
Right.
um, I saw the first episode. I didn't think it was bad enough that I had to drop it, but I honestly didn't think it was good enough to keep on watching either. Maybe if I had a kid, it would be different. Like this is like you said, it's definitely a story for a kid, and you could just sit there and watch it, and it won't. It's not bad enough that you're like, watch this alone, kid, or anything like that. But you could sit there and watch it with someone.
No, it's like Dora the Explorer. Dora is fine if you're 4 years old, but if you're an adult, there's not a whole lot there. And that's exactly what Kimono Friends was like for me, anyway.
I see. Well, I guess we should leave some stuff. We'll definitely have a hangout next week, and hopefully everyone else can join, and we can go over some of the titles again. I
Okay.
know, unfortunately, this season is to me is just lacking.
It's certainly a lackluster season.
So I definitely am going to catch up on some of my old anime, maybe play some games, do some more art. I did want to try to pick up Chaos Head, but
Oh, okay.
only because I really liked the first season. This is the second season of Chaos Head, or sorry, Chaos Child is the name of it.
Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen Chaos Head. I need to rewatch that one.
The first episode actually goes over the whole thing again of what
Oh,
happened.
okay then.
So, um, actually, it seems like it adds or maybe changed some stuff because maybe it's going through a different route. I don't know. I honestly did think I had to rewatch the first season or at least skim through it so I can be like, did that really happen at the end? Chaos Head was one of those titles that I liked watching, but I can't remember the ending.
I don't remember it either.
Then
I
you
liked
have
it too, though.
then you have Akiba's Trip, which I think is another show that's it was a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only other show I'm watching right now that I have mixed feelings was I'd Live or something like that.
Oh, Eldive?
Eldive. Uh,
I read the manga and didn't really like the manga, so I wasn't gonna waste my time with the anime.
yeah. But if you're into drama and you like romance, you got Fuka for people. I don't know if anyone like I think I talked with Jessica about a show called Suzuka that came out
Mhm.
back in 2000. I swear it was like 2002, 2004, somewhere around there. Back in the day when they had fan subbers, not speed subbers. So you had to wait a whole week until you got the next episode or something like that. I think it was subtitled by Lunar.
Yeah, oh, that takes me back. Yeah,
Uh,
it's no simulcast back in the day.
yeah, with Suzuka. So, um,
Also, if you like drama, Scum's Wish or Kuzu no Honkai, it's streaming on Amazon. It's really, really good.
what is Scum's Wish? What is that?
It's about a high school girl and a high school boy who are on paper dating, but their relationship is purely physical because each one of them is in love with another person. The boy is in love with a music teacher, and the girl is in love with a different teacher. So their outlet for wanting the physical affection from the other person is each other. It sounds kind of weird, but it's good.
Hmm.
It's a really good exploration of teenage sexuality and love and what it means to love another person.
As for rom-coms, I think we got Masumune's Kun's No Revenge. I think that's a rom-com with this season. I only saw the first, I think, 2 episodes. I don't know if I can keep on watching it. It's hasn't gotten me, but of course, it's about this kid who liked this girl, confessed to the girl, was rejected, and now he has changed himself for high school, and he wants to get that girl to fall in love with him so he can reject her or something like that. Revenge ploy, but she's very dark, and you can tell why people would want to hate her. The only other thing I'm surprised I haven't watched, or even you, is Little Witch Academy. Academy. Little Witch Academy.
I haven't found it yet. I don't know where it's streaming.
I heard people say that the first episode was basically a recap of the movies,
Okay.
but I haven't seen it myself either, so I don't know. I have to look for it. So maybe next week we can mention that and go over a few titles with Nick and Albert, and
Sounds good.
maybe we can get Sean coming back. I'll make sure to post the event publicly. I thought I did it correctly, but who knows? Maybe I did it wrong. Other than that, um, goodbye, everyone, I guess.
See you next time.
See you next time. Janet, bye, B.